Welcome back to another episode of The Zone Presents. I have Connor Scribner in studio today. Connor, how you doing, bro?
Good, brother. How are you?
Been a little bit of time. Been hearing about you far too long, so now we finally get you in the studio.
Sir,
Ready?
let's do it.
Let's go. So, Connor, you're from a small town, I hear, right?
Yep. Punta Gorda,
Punta Gorda?
Florida, Southwest Florida. Yeah.
What was like childhood like? What was like you're an athlete, you played
Yeah.
sports? Tell
Yep.
me a little about that.
So I was like a 3-sport athlete. It was in baseball, football, basketball. And mostly football and basketball. That was
Okay.
like what I loved.
So you consider yourself a pretty competitive person?
Yeah, very competitive since day one. I wish I had like a brother that was, like a year younger than me,
Yeah.
beat up on him. But I had a younger brother, a little sister, so kind of beat up on them a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was always competitive, football, basketball my whole life starting out. I remember my first practice, like getting the wind knocked out of me. And then like from that point on,
You
wanted
were
to quit,
sold.
but like just kept going. Yeah.
Sold on leaving.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It says a lot about people when they like go through a little bit of traumatic situation or a tough transition and they stick through it.
Yeah.
My family at home, we have the same thing with our kids. We're like, yeah, hey, if you start something, you're gonna finish it.
100%.
There's no.
That's how it's always been. Yeah.
Good, man. Good. So let's go. Your first job. You graduate high school. Like,
Yeah.
what's that like? What's that transition like for you?
Well, if you want to talk about my first job, first job was in probably freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I was a busser at a really big, probably the biggest restaurant in our city. So it was like 3 stories, just basically slaving away for bussing tables.
Not a bad paycheck, right?
Yeah. Probably made about roughly $13 an hour and just a little bit of tips on the side. And so that was my first job. And then I kind of just went from like restaurant to restaurant after that. You know how that goes from busing to running tables and stuff like that. And so
It's your skill set though, for sure.
it does 100%. I would say like, honestly, I learned a lot, just like communication skills then. And then also just like appreciative of those small paychecks and those small times.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely adds up, especially when you get in a position or a job or a career like this. You know what I mean?
It was also like in the summer months, I would work for my dad. He owns a construction business, like pool cage and stuff like that. So I'd work for him in the summers. Then my mom has an essential oil company, and so I'd kind of like pour oils and stuff for her. Like
Wow.
whatever I could do to make
So little entrepreneur family background.
Yeah, 100%.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's got like that good foundation of like, hey, I can do more than just someone tells me
Yep.
you're worth this salary. You know what I mean?
100%.
So cool stuff. So then let's get out of high school.
Yeah.
Kind of give me the foundation and the framework of like, hey, this is what I was doing until Lumio.
Yeah. So coming out of high school, I wasn't really in a great place, like mentally.
Mhm.
But I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, so I just went to college. Actually, Valencia, right here down the road. So
Oh.
I lived right outside University Plaza, in front of UCF.
Oh, wow.
And so
Another guy was from Valencia.
yeah.
So,
So it was for the first 6 months. That's what my life was.
Mhm.
And I was going to end up transferring to UCF, and then COVID happened, so I came back home.
Oh, wow.
Which was a blessing in disguise. And so once I came back home, I was kind of just like hit a wall, like just did not, I was online for a while, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Long story short, I got into like just a toxic relationship. And that wasn't really good for my mental health. And then from there, kind of worked from like restaurant to restaurant again. I actually went like 6 months without a job. And it was like, my parents were just on me.
Yeah.
And for me,
Do
like,
you remember that feeling? You remember how you felt during that time?
I felt like it was so dark, felt so empty and like just worthless, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
I think it's important to recognize those moments because I think if you do recognize it and you can see that it's a small blip in your life,
Yep.
but it helps just build that muscle.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And at the time, I didn't really have much. I didn't have any responsibility, and I was still in under mom and dad's roof too.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like I didn't need
The
to.
back wasn't necessarily against the wall yet.
Exactly. Yep. So from there, long story short, once again, after that relationship ended, I actually got my real estate license. A long friend with she was friends with my mom for like 20 years, and she owned her own brokerage down in Northport, Southwest Florida by Punta Gorda. And so she was like encouraging me like, hey, come get your real estate license. So it took me 3 or 4 tries and I got it.
Huh.
And I mean, it was a hard test.
How long ago was this?
So this was in 2021 in July. I got it.
So this is like COVID, still in COVID.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was trying to get my real estate license for like 3 months or something like that.
Okay.
And so I just like was like, I have to do it. I just have to do it so I can say I did it. And so I finally got it like the 3rd or 4th time, and like that really just boosted my confidence.
Okay.
It really just showed me like, hey, I can actually do something with my life,
Yeah.
you know? And so once I got my real estate license, I labeled myself as a realtor, even though I wasn't really doing much. And so
Hey, it all takes a little bit of something to get you moving in the right direction.
that really helped me big time. And the broker, she kind of like paid for all my like realtor fees and everything. Like she
Right.
really like helped me out, set me up in that. So I think like that's big. It's just having people in your life that really like believe in you.
Yeah,
You know, and
support you and think you
Exactly.
can.
so
Then you hear about Lumio. How does that happen?
well, I ended up, you know, in real estate for a couple months. It didn't really work out for me. And then my mom ended up getting solar that year of October.
No way.
Okay. And I met this other guy, whatever, other company, and I ended up working for them for basically a little over a year.
Okay.
And that experience, that was all of last year. I started solar in the beginning of the first week of February of 2022 last year.
Wow.
And so that was by far, last year was the hardest year of my life by far.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, just the whole
Yeah.
nine. And so, but it really leveled up like everything. And so I'm not who I am today, like without what I went through last year.
Yeah. You got to go through some pain to get the rewards of.
Through a lot of pain.
success.
And there wasn't really, the biggest thing was on that team, I didn't have anybody, no camaraderie, no team.
No culture.
I was the only one really, knocking doors day in, day out by myself, like
Yep.
no one to really lean on. And so that was really tough. And so I
Is it
heard,
hard to be motivated during that time? Sorry to interrupt you on that.
say that
Is it
again?
hard to be motivated when you're going
Yeah.
through that?
Oh, so hard. I mean, I wasn't relying on any motivation. It was all discipline, 100%.
I think that's what makes, this opportunity a lot more unique. And
Yep.
I'll let you talk about it because
Yep.
our culture is much different than any other company.
It's
out
much
there.
different. So it was like a night and day difference. But whenever I came, I heard about Lumio from day one of solar. I've had many people try to recruit me from Lumio, but I was so loyal to my
Yeah.
other company at the time. I had a huge sense of loyalty, but I finally decided to make a switch because I was honestly miserable.
Yeah.
Like I was checked out, clocked out. Like mentally, I was like, I think I'm clocked out 100%.
Yeah.
And so, because I actually started selling a bunch of pool cages in the beginning of the year, my dad, and because the hurricane happened down
Yeah.
south, and so I was like,
Busy working. It was
exactly, yep.
I got you.
So I was basically almost checked out with solar. And then it went a couple more months where they ran a little small blitz in my other company and I ran it, whatever. And then after that, I was like completely checked out. I was ready. And so I actually had a friend, Jarrell, he's still on the team right now.
Yeah.
And so he made the transition from a couple other companies and to Lumio. And
Okay.
he was doing really good and he loved the culture there and everything, was telling me about it. So I was like, cool. So that's when I met up with Landon, some managers.
Very cool.
And then it took me like a couple months to actually like do it.
Yeah.
It took a lot of faith to do it. And I'm so happy I did.
Dude, me too. Because honestly, I've heard about you, seen the name. Didn't really know the past too much.
Yeah.
You ran a training not too long ago.
Yeah.
It was fire. Got a lot of response on that.
Good.
So it says a lot about your professionalism and how you conduct the business.
Yeah.
I know that it happened overnight.
Yeah.
But now that you've been here, you've seen this culture. Where are we focused? Where are we headed going forward?
Definitely focusing on managing right now. It's I love the knocking, the closing and helping out others. Really is like that's my goal right now, is just helping and leading others to find like some of the fruits that I've experienced in this industry.
Okay.
And then like I said, just taking the next level of managing an office and continue to level up from there and help others. That's my motive. That's my passion right now.
I absolutely love that. You're definitely fit for that.
Yeah.
You're built for it. What's really cool, and I want to bring this back to people at home, is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
From this day or 2.5 years ago, we weren't this guy. Not even close to this guy.
Yeah.
We were in a mentally a little bit tough spot.
Yep.
We weren't sure what we were doing every single day.
Yep.
And I know they don't know the past as well as we do and you do.
Yeah.
But look at you now. Look what
Yeah.
you've accomplished and look what's been around you. And I say it has to do with you.
Yep.
But it has to do with people around you, the leadership around you.
Yep.
And honestly, brother, it shows the foundation that's been put together from your family, believe it or
Yep.
not. And I've been that kind of person where like I had my family as a a backup plan if things weren't working out.
Yep.
And now I think when people get out of that life
Yeah.
and out of that comfort zone, the true person shows. And dude,
100%.
you should be really proud of what you've accomplished already. And I'm sure your parents are at home.
100%. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's funny you say that because that was kind of always like the backup plan. Like I'll just take over dad's business,
Yeah.
mom's thing. But I always felt like a much higher calling from day one.
Good.
Like there's something on the inside of me that was like, you're going to do better and greater things.
Heck yeah, dude.
And so I kind of just want to create my own path, my own legacy.
Well, say like your mom and your dad being entrepreneurs.
Yep.
You are your own entrepreneur as well. And
Yeah.
that's important. You're what, 25,
22.
22 years old.
Yeah.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit for you. You know what I mean? And being that you've already grown this fast, this quickly in our company, you've been here for what, a year now?
No, maybe 5 months.
5 months. Holy crap. That's crazy.
Yeah.
A fast track.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's
this
crazy.
is exciting.
It took a lot. Yeah, it took a lot of faith, man. But
Yeah.
whenever you walk out in faith, man, it's like what comes. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, dude, let me ask you this then. What are you reading? What are you doing for personal development?
Yeah. So right now I'm actually reading what's the book? Well, I like my biggest one was the 4 Agreements.
Okay.
I don't know if you've read that one, but it's the 4 Agreements of life. It's always do your best, never take anything personal. And then it's been a while since I read it, but I forget the other 2. But always come through on your word, be impeccable on your word. That's another one. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned from reading that book and other books, self-development books that I'm reading right now, is like always truly coming through on your word. Like if you say like these internal commitments, if you're going to do, wake up at this time, go to the gym at this time and do X, Y, and Z for the day, and you don't come through on that, then it's like it just diminishes your confidence as a person.
Yeah.
And then your word means nothing to everybody else.
Say what you do and do what you say.
Exactly. So I think that's like for myself, like when I say something, coming through on it 100%. And that's why like I feel like I'm a really confident person now.
Good.
Is because when I say something, I come through on it on myself and others as well.
They made a movie about that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's called Yes Man with Jim Carrey.
Yep.
You got to say yes to everything.
Yep.
You know what it is? Like, we're qualified. We're most qualified to be the person we hate, or the opposite of what we don't like. So basically for you, it's like, dude, you're definitely doing what you say you're going to do, and you're accomplishing what you're going to do because you manifest it first.
Yep.
You think about it first, and then you follow through in it.
Yes, sir.
It says a lot, because a lot of people say it, they don't actually execute it.
Right.
So you're one of the smaller percentage of the people that actually do execute on it.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff, man. Well, any shout out for people at home?
Shout out mama, shout out dad.
Heck.
Shout out Shane, my brother. I wouldn't be here without him for sure. That's all I got for him.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming out here. Conor Scribner, everybody.
Yes, sir.